Hello, Gemini, and welcome to your mid-month July 2021 general reading. Be sure to check out your sun, moon, and rising signs for a more well-rounded perspective for this general reading. Also, if you're interested in extended reading added to this, there will be a link in the description box below for that for a small fee. So go ahead and check that out if you're interested. All right, let's go ahead and begin. The card we are starting out with is Ace of Cups. So you are going to be experiencing a change. Oh, I feel love interest comes to mind, although that's not applicable to everybody. Some of you, there's a love interest that is on the horizon. I shouldn't say on the horizon. They're correcting me. It's the increase in this connection is on the horizon. So there's been a connection that you've been experiencing for a little while now. And as we enter in, like really close to the mid-month mark, there is a potential for an increased connection with this, whatever this experience is. This is what you're tapping into, what you're walking into. I do feel like I'm being told that you need to take it slow, especially if you have a tendency to really dive into these sorts of situations, these sorts of connections. They're saying keep it slow this time. Take it slow and easy. Give yourself time, give them time, give the connection time. Just really allow things to flow a little slower than typical for you, or than it has been in at least the most recent romantic relationships that you have been having or have been experiencing. For those of you who it's not a romantic connection with, there's definitely an opportunity for a freshness in your perspective as far as emotional connection is concerned. And that's about all that they're saying or all that they're giving to me for that. But there's definitely a freshness and love connections just in general that is going to be available. The energy for that is going to be available as we move through the middle of the month and closing in that second to the last month of our week of July. So very heavily that third week, essentially that third week of July. We're following this with the Emperor, and I feel that this is kind of more a message for you to make sure that you keep level-headed and that you keep your feet firmly planted. Remain grounded as you move through this. Don't get washed away. Don't get overwhelmed with whatever this experience is. Make sure you stay level-headed. Make sure you stay in command of yourself. Make sure you keep your wits about you as you move through this transition period, whatever is going to be going on. Yeah, like they keep repeating, keep your feet firmly planted. That's what I keep hearing. Keep your feet firmly planted. And it just has to do with making sure that you always have the mindset of securing your domain, and however the domain applies to you. It could be domain of your heart. It also could mean domain as far as your living quarters, your housing, your home. But however that applies, there's just this overall message to make sure that you are proceeding with your best interests for safety and security from a personal perspective in mind. Make sure your boundaries are appropriately set so that nothing is being exploited or being taken advantage of. Really making sure that you have strong boundaries and that you are doing what you need to fortify those boundaries as you move through. And it's overall a message of making sure you remember who you are, and you don't lose sight of that as you move through. And as this grows, like maintaining that connection with yourself, maintaining that connection with who you are, what you desire ultimately, and what makes you feel the safest and the most secure. Finally, we have pale pink, gentle love. So definitely a lot to do with love when you think about the Ace of Cups representing a freshness and a love or emotional connection. The Emperor, when we think about it from a perspective of how I was talking about keeping yourself grounded and making sure you are staying connected with who you are and what your desires are for yourself. this represents self-love. So there's a little bit of making sure that there's a good, healthy balance with this new love connection that you may experience and self-love in the process. You want it to remain healthy, and ultimately always your focus should be self-love, healthy self-love, and whatever you get outside of that for the Emperor card presentation, that self-love, whatever it is that you connect with should always be in support of self-love. So whatever this is and wherever it may take you, essentially you're being told to make sure that you know what equals healthy self-love, and that whatever you are accepting of or moving into is something that continues to support that. But definitely a lot of your message has a lot to do with love. And like I said, the root of it is self-love. The root of it is to make sure that any and all decisions, any and all movements really supports that sense of self-worth, self-value, and allows you to grow in self-love in healthy proportions. All right, Gemini, that is all I have for your mid-month check-in. There's going to be a link in the description box below if you're interested in receiving the extended version of that. Other than that, I hope you have a wonderful July, and hopefully I will see you in August.